everyone, my name is Katie. I am a fourth year first grade teacher and this is a new week in my life vlog. If you're new here, thanks so much for clicking and watching, and if you're not, thanks for coming back. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I feel like out of practice with vlogging, and it hasn't been that long. It's been like 2 weeks. For YouTube, for y'all, it hasn't been that long because I post a video every Saturday. But for me, I took last week off from vlogging, and the week before I did some day in my life content. Last week I knew was going to be busy, and it's for a very fun reason that I can now share because I've shared it over on my Instagram. David and I have purchased a house and we're really excited. So if you don't follow me on Instagram, you should definitely go follow me there because they found that out weeks ago. But not yesterday, last week was the first week. Sorry, I'm clicking things on my smartboard while I'm talking, trying to multitask. Last week was the first week that we could like get into our house. And oh my goodness, did we get into the house. We have some popcorn ceiling to remove. And so we started going, we went like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday this past week to work on hanging plastic tarps. I'll insert some clips of it right here. We worked on hanging plastic tarps. We worked on taping the floor down. We worked on scraping the ceilings. And then on Saturday, all day, I spent the whole day like deep cleaning the kitchen. So our dishes would be like ready to start moving them in, all kinds of things. So that has been exhausting. I am literally so stinking tired this morning. Yesterday we were sanding ceilings and I cleaned the kitchen on Saturday while David sanded, and I knew it was tough work, but then yesterday I did some of the sanding. I'm sore. Like, oh my gosh, my body hurts. I slept like a rock last night, and when I woke up this morning, I was like, it was one of those mornings where I just felt like I was so tired and emotional. I was like, I think I might cry because I have to get up out of bed, but I did it anyways. So I fixed the last of the coffee that was in my fridge, and then I'm not buying any more coffee for a while because I'm trying to cut back, but I'm not doing a really good job. So anyways, I'm really tired today, very tired, but that's okay. It is Teacher Appreciation this week. Teacher Appreciation Week this week. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. So we get to wear jeans, and I'm so excited about that. They also have breakfast for us and lunches all week, which is super exciting. If you're probably watching this like in May, so it's long past, but a very late Happy Teacher Appreciation Week to any teachers who watch my YouTube videos. Y'all are the real MVP. Our job is hard. It's hard, and it's been so great getting to connect with all of you guys here on YouTube to make it a little bit brighter and to get ideas from each other. So thank you so much for all of your engagement on my videos, for all your comments, all of your advice. I love getting to interact with you guys. That's part of the fun part of teaching, is getting to collaborate with other teachers. So happy belated, since you're just now seeing this, Teacher Appreciation Week to all the teachers who are watching my video. Okay, like I do every Monday morning, I'm gonna show you my centers for the week, and then I will try to show you kind of what we're doing for reading, and then in the afternoon, I'll update you on what we've been working on in math. So let's go ahead and look at those centers. All right, this week we're working on silent letters, which I call ghost letters, like GN, KN, WR, and then MB at the end of words too. So I have this awesome ghost letter sort. I will link it in the description box. It's got the ghosts, and then you can't really see because it's turned around. Let's see if I can open this with one hand here. Yeah, okay, and it's got, I like this because it has the picture too. So like there's lasagna, you can see the silent G that's in it. Because most of the words with ghost letters are not words the students see often, so the pictures are super helpful. So they get to sort the ghosts in the correct spot, and that is for word work. Okay, our writing center is called Ghost Writing, and if you are a teacher, you've probably seen this before, but what they do is they take their paper and they take a white crayon, and up here, I have a word list that has all of the ghost letter words. So I'm just gonna pick one from that list. I'm gonna do the word knee. And what they do is they write the word with the white crayon, K-N-E-E. And of course it doesn't show up right away. So then they have to take a marker and they use the marker to color over it. And ta-da! The word appears like a ghost. So they're gonna be really excited. We haven't done this kind of center since like October. I did it with like pumpkins, where they wrote the words inside of the pumpkins and colored it in. But since this week is ghost letters, it's the perfect time to break this center back out, and they're gonna be thrilled that they get to do this week. Okay, I also realized it's probably been a while since I've shown you my listening center and my computer center. So for my listening center, every month I have a different digital listening center library, and it's on Google Slides, and I made these last year and I've just been reusing them again this year, and they have been incredible. So the students see it in presentation mode like this. All they have to do is click on a book and it will open it up. I have a lot of them on this video link site so it doesn't take them directly to YouTube. There you go.
Written by Candace Fleming.
I love this book.
Illustrated by G. Phonics.
Okay, so there's kind of what it looks like. Click continue. And each one has its own little link. If I couldn't link it in that video link site, then it's on YouTube, but I try to stay clear of YouTube by doing it on that video link site. And then for Computer Center, we use Typing Club. So I don't know if you've ever used Typing Club before. This is what it looks like right here, and it's for free, and they just practice their typing skills on the computer, and they only go to the computer center like for 15 minutes a week, so we don't spend like a whole lot of time on this, but it is a nice free typing program that you can go do with your class, so that's fun. If I click on get started, maybe it'll like show you some more of what it looks like without pulling my class up. Let's see. I'm not super duper familiar with it.
I hear you want to type like a pro.
Okay.
Should always
So it shows them where their fingers need to go, bumps on the keys, keyboard practice, etc., etc. Okay, so you get the point. That's kind of what Typing Club looks like. So Google that and use that for your class if you need a free program to practice typing. All right, that's it for my centers this week. I've had a lot of people commenting, asking how I do rotations in my classroom, and I actually made a video about it back in December for Vlogmas, so I'm going to tag that video up in the cards if you would like to find out how I do center rotations in my classroom and what like it looks like when kids go to those centers. Super informative. It's just a video about centers, so there you go. Small group today. On Mondays, I always start with a little connection point. We talk about our weekends. Takes a little time, but that's okay. So we'll do that for small group. Then I will introduce the ghost letters. I have a little poster for each of the ghosts. And I have a song. Oh, this isn't all of them. This is just one. I'll have to go back to my cabinet and look and see if I can find them. And then I have like a little baggie with a little game that students can play. And we're not going to play this game today, but I am going to use the word cards. I'll link this in the description as well. It's like you make a pile and the students have to draw a card. And if they get a word, they read the word. If they get a ghost, then, oh, they have to put all their words back. It's like Bang, but ghost version. But I like to use the word cards because then it gives me like words that I can use with the kids. So we'll probably write some on the whiteboard, find the silent letter that's inside, and I always have them like catch the ghost and have them draw a ghost around the letter like we're Ghostbusters because they think that's so much fun. And so we'll probably do a couple words like very scaffolded, very explicit teaching today, and then go over our sight words, and that's it for our small groups. And we'll continue that tomorrow, and then on Wednesday and Thursday and probably Friday I have a text that I typed that I'll show you later this week that's got ghost words. Then for like our whole group block, last week we continued our personal narrative writing. I posted that in a day in my life vlog, kind of an overview of what that looked like. So if you're interested in that, I will link that above in the cards as well. It went so good, and they loved writing their books and writing their personal narratives. It was very hard because we haven't done a lot of explicit writing teaching. It's been more integrated and more sentence dictation than it is like full paragraph writing, but I think they did really well. So we only have like 4 more weeks of school, which is crazy. 4 weeks and 3 half days. So what I'm doing is I'm like taking different genres of writing and I'm focusing on that. So we did personal narrative back in the fall. We reviewed it last week. So now we're moving on to how-to, and we actually haven't done any how-to writing. So I'm introducing it today with this book. All right, the book is called Growing Vegetable Soup by Lois Ehlert. I love this book. It's so great. It goes over all of the steps for planting vegetables and for growing vegetables. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna write how to grow a vegetable this week, but I always start with like a mentor text, or I try to, and this is perfect for how-to writing. So we're gonna read this, and then I'm gonna let them talk about it because we do have a little bit more phonics to do this week. Last week we just had like simple phonics and sight word review. This week I will be teaching the ghost letters and the sight words in my whole group as well. So this will be like in smaller chunks at the end. So today we're just gonna read the Growing Vegetable Soup mentor text, and then I'll let the students like talk about it and share with their partner like what happened in the text. How did they grow the vegetable soup? So there's that. And then tomorrow we'll take it a step further by like planning out all the steps that we saw in the book, but I'll show that to you tomorrow. Don't want to overwhelm you with all the things on a Monday morning. So that's kind of like our morning in a nutshell. Afternoon, don't ask me about the afternoon. It's still morning, and I'm gonna get through the morning first, and then I'll be able to think about my afternoon. So I will like update you on what the afternoon looked like when I get to the afternoon. Yeah. So that is all I have for you guys this morning. I'm heading down to the library to get some teacher appreciation breakfast. I already ate breakfast, but my planning is at like 9:30, and that's in like an hour and 10 minutes, an hour and 20 minutes or so. So I could always like see if there's anything that I can save and have as like a little snack during my planning. Yeah, that's it. Can you tell I'm like exhausted and I'm running off of like the bottom of my fuel tank? So say a prayer for me today. Like, oh my gosh, I have a feeling it's gonna be wild. Maybe the kids will be tired too. I don't know. Now I'm just rambling. I'll see y'all this afternoon. Okay, we made it to the end of the day. Today started really strong, ended really chatty. That's typically how they go. Morning activities went really, really great, and we actually had enough time today to move a step further than I thought we were going to in our writing. First thing I did was have them turn and talk with a partner and share everything they know about growing a vegetable. Then we read Growing Vegetable Soup, and they were so excited to see their ideas were in the story. Then we brainstormed all of the words that we heard throughout the story, and let me show you that anchor chart. Okay, here was our chart. My handwriting was messy because I'm kind of writing sideways on it, but here were some of the words they picked out from the story: water, sun, air, seed, soil, dirt, whole, eat, boil, bloom, bud, grows, space. I know my handwriting's messy. I sit here and then I write kind of sideways and it's just a hot mess. Then after that, I gave them a blank paper like this, and we just worked on illustrating the steps and labeling. So this was my example, and I did this up on the board with them so they could see, like this week we're doing it super explicit. So I did step 1 with the seed and the soil and the hole. Step 2, we watered the seed. Step 3, we made sure it got sun and it started to sprout and grow. Step 4 was pick the vegetables. So my students then did that at their seat independently. So I have a couple examples that I can show you, like here's one of them. And did they copy my pictures? Yes. Was that okay? Absolutely. That was kind of the goal today, was for me to like really model it. I'm really proud because this is one of my students who doesn't like know all her letters and her sounds, but she used the pictures on the chart and did a lot of really good labeling. So that was awesome. Seed, soil, water, bud, vegetables, just like that. So now our next step, I had a couple of friends who didn't finish. Y'all, okay, this is my struggle today. It was a really good day. I felt like I did a really great job teaching and I knew what I was doing, but there were things that we didn't finish. Like some friends went to an enrichment group during that, and I made a mental note. I was like, oh, okay, they can finish that during computer lab time. Well, by the time I get to computer lab time, my brain's like, and so when they turned it in, I was like, oh, I didn't have them finish that. So I'm gonna have them finish it for morning work tomorrow, because it's not their fault. They didn't finish. They went to their enrichment thing. So I'm just gonna set those out. Anyways, most of them finished, and our step tomorrow is we're going to take that and put it on a writing paper and actually write sentences for the steps. So I was really glad we got that far for this one. Small groups went really well. Let me do like a little small group demo for you so you can see like exactly how I introduced those ghost letters today. Okay, this is what our small group time looked like. I told them that we were learning about ghost letters, which is when we have 2 letters and they only make 1 sound because one of the sounds is silent. And so then I came over here and I introduced the first ghost, and I went, woo, I made it really fun. I said, our first ghost is W-R. Look at the letter that's inside the ghost. It's the W. When you see W-R, we don't hear the W. We just make the R sound. Everybody make that sound with me. R, good. So our W-R ghost. And then we practiced writing some words with the W-R ghost. I started out with ones that they knew because we've already learned the sight word right. So I spelled it and I was like, okay, put this word on your board. And we all wrote down the word right. And then they got so excited. They're like, it's right, it's right. I was like, that's correct. And I said, okay, we're gonna be ghost catchers today. Look in the word right and see if you can catch the ghost, just like we see right here on our ghost buddies. So we circled it right here and did like a squiggle line at the bottom, and they thought it was so fun to get to catch the ghost. So I said, when we read this word, do we hear the W sound in that WR? And they said, no. So I said, okay, anything else you notice in the word? And they saw the magic E. So we marked that with the long vowel, and then we sounded the word out. Right. What's the word? Right. Awesome. And then we erased, and we did it again with another word that they didn't know this time. So the next word that I did was the word wrist. So I said, okay, before we read this word, let me get a better marker. Before we read this word, can you catch the ghost? And I looked and I said, awesome job. You found the ghost because that W is not going to make any sound. Do you notice anything else in this word that we might be able to mark? That's right, an end blend. And we always mark our blends with a dot, and a line to remind us it's a sound squished together. St, st. Then we went through and we sounded it out. R, ist, wrist. And I showed them where their wrist was if they didn't know. And then we did that one more time with the word wreck. And I just had my little sticky note, this right here, sitting next to me. So I had my words already planned out. So we did the same thing with wreck. Okay, and then I said, all right, say goodbye to this ghost. Woo! And I made him fly away. And I said, let's meet ghost number 2. Woo! It's amazing how a cutout piece of paper makes engagement like so much better in small groups. So then we talked about MB. And in this one, the B is the ghost, because at the end, you don't hear the B sound. You just hear the M. Again, we started with a word we knew because we've already learned this sight word earlier in the year with our program. So we started with the word climb, and they were so excited because they knew the word. And I was like, did you know there's a ghost in there? Can you go catch it? And they caught the ghost. Anything else we noticed? And they said the cool sound. Now my first two groups knew that this was climb. So then they were ready to say climb. My third group, for some reason, kept saying clim because I think they'd forgotten the sight word. So I did share with them that this I says its name, and it's just a part we have to know by heart because there's no reason for the I to say its name. It just does. So climb. But in my first two groups, they remembered that. So we did that word, and then we did 2 more. The next one I did was the word numb, and it was kind of funny trying to explain what the word numb meant. Some of them knew and some of them did not, so I did my best to explain it. And one of my students was like, oh, it's like when you go to the dentist and then they make you numb. I was like, yep, that is exactly what that word means. So we caught our ghost. And then the last one we did was the word thumb, and the only thing special in the word thumb is that it has, oops, let's do that the correct way, the TH. So we do that with a dot and a line to show that it's one sound. So thumb. And then I made the ghost fly away, and that's about all we had time for in our small group today, but they really loved it. So we're gonna repeat this again tomorrow with our other 2 ghost letter combos. After that was math, and for math time today, we were working on adding using the 100 chart, and it was like adding any number, and I think they did pretty okay. We talked about adding by ones and counting by tens. Like here were some of the example problems that we did, like this right here. They did okay. Some of them really got it really fast, and others like didn't. And so knowing what I know from last chapter, if they didn't get it, I need to stop and do an extra day. So what I need to do this afternoon, or maybe tomorrow, and hopefully I have time this afternoon, is find another practice page of just like first grade adding and let them use a 100 chart tomorrow and do some more practice. That way we get an extra day with it, because the ones who didn't get it were like close. They kind of understood it, but we just need another day. I can't move on. I don't even know what the next topic is. Using models to add, which is, I mean, drawing the picture. Yeah, I don't want to move on. I want to do the 100 chart one more day. So I think I'm going to do that. And then I also, during computer lab time, I did start pulling some to get the mid-chapter check, because that's like a quiz grade that I'm going to use just to see where they're at. So that is all I have for Monday. Hope that was helpful for you, and I will check in with you guys on Tuesday. Good morning, happy Tuesday. I'm feeling better rested today than I was yesterday. I slept in a little bit this morning because they're going to have leftover breakfast from yesterday in the media center again today, and the quiche was great. And so I was like, yep, okay, I'm gonna be doing that. So it felt really weird this morning to like be in my house and get ready and not have to make breakfast. And then I didn't like have to straighten my hair because I just did dry shampoo last night. So it was like I got up, I got dressed, I got ready, I read my Bible, and then I was like, okay, I guess I can leave. So I slept in a little bit because I knew it wouldn't take me as long. Getting my slides and everything up, ready to go. It is Tuesday, so I have morning duty today. So as soon as they make the announcement that that breakfast is down in the media center, I'm gonna head down there to get food. I'm also gonna take this down there. I actually like used resources. I don't like the online thing for Go Math because it's so hard to find things. So it took me like 20 minutes, I swear, yesterday just to find this. But I found the reteach page for the lesson we did yesterday, and then the enrich page, which is just like extra practice for the lesson that we did yesterday. So yeah, I'm really excited about that. And so I'm gonna go get these copied like front and back. So it's like an extra practice page. And I'm gonna pull my friends that I know were struggling in their workbooks yesterday to my table to work on that. So that's what the game plan is, but I do have to take this down to be copied because I'd like it copied front and back. My printer is running not out of ink, but it is definitely low on ink. And if I print like a bunch in a row, it starts to be streaky, but if I just print 2 pages, it's totally fine. So it says page cannot be loaded again. All right, we're gonna close Chrome and open it again. Here we go, let's see. Oh, it still says can't be reached. Today is a Tuesday, and on Tuesday for our intervention time, our like gifted teacher rotates around to different classrooms. So she is coming to our classroom today. I'm really excited because it's been a while since she's been in here just because of holidays and state testing and all that stuff. So my kids are gonna be really excited to see her during our intervention time. It's also nice because I kind of walk around and supervise while she takes the lead. So I will enjoy that a little bit. Yeah. That's all I've got this morning, so I'm going to head down to the copy room, pick me up some breakfast, and get my Tuesday started. Oh, and I wore like a sunshiny outfit with blue jeans again. I love this outfit. I'm sorry, I cannot link it because this is from like a local boutique back where I used to live, and then this is Old Navy circa like 2018, but I still love it. And it's kind of like, yeah, it's got like this little tie, and it's a super nice tank top. And then also at the top, it's like pretty thick. So if it's not like inappropriate to wear, which is really nice. And it's so cute, and it's like flowery and springy. And I was like, I'm feeling springy today. So yeah, I wore this and I'm excited about my outfit. That's it. Going to eat and then do morning duty. Okay, I survived today. My hair did not. It's a mess. And I don't have my hairbrush. I usually keep it in my backpack. I don't have it today. So it's looking like I might be clipping it up in a minute, but that's okay. Tuesday, that was today. It went well. Our small group time, I did the same thing that I did yesterday that I showed you earlier in the vlog, so I won't repeat it again because it was literally identical, except I did it with these 2 ghosts. So I had the GN ghost and the KN ghost. And I wrote my words out on a sticky note. Oh, also, I have a song that goes with these in the freebie pack. It's to the tune of, I don't even know, Here Comes Thumpkin? Is that what the tune is? Anyways, but like I show them the ghost phrase, and then they do like a repeat after me, and I sing, W's a ghost letter, W's a ghost letter, how can you tell? How can you tell? The R does all the talking, the R does all the talking. This says this says and then we repeat it with the next one. K is a ghost letter, K is a ghost letter. How can you tell? How can you tell? The N does all the talking, the N does all the talking. This says this says So we sing that together, and then we read like the practice words. That's kind of what I do to review it in whole group a little bit too, and they really like those songs. They've just really liked the Ghost Buddies. So I think what I'm gonna do is keep these with me at the teacher table for the rest of the week. I really ought to laminate them. Maybe I'll laminate them at home at the end of the week. And then I'm gonna add them to my sound wall, which I've had some people request in comments and messages and all that stuff to show like an overview of how I use my sound wall. So I would love to show that to you. I will go ahead and tell you how I do that. Here is my sound wall. I will link the product. I've linked it a couple times before, but I will link the product that I got from TPT in the description if you're interested in getting the same one. I've set it up in 2 spots. I have the Val Valley, and it's set up based on mouth formation. So if you do any research or look up Val Valley, they'll tell you how to set it up, but you can like tell by the pictures like what's happening to your mouth when you say the sound, like A, I, E, E, I, ah, right here. And then the mouth like closes more as you get up into the oohs. And then I have my R controls in the middle. Over here I have my diphthongs, the ow, oi, and aw. And then over here I have digraphs. And so these technically, the diphthongs are, but these technically are not vowels, but I just keep them over here because we reference them a lot. And honestly, I probably should get like a label right here that says digraphs, but I don't have one. So, and I was thinking maybe I could add the ghosts like up here and add the silent letters once I've laminated them. Also not a vowel, but that's okay. Over here I have the consonant cabinet. I was about to turn the camera, but that would not be good. Consonant cabinet, and I have these all sorted. You can do lots of research about how they are sorted online, but this is what it looks like. It's sorted by type or liquids, the glides like and yeah, and then I've got the nasal sounds like and stops g, t, d, b, p, and fricatives z, v, f, and s, the ones that tickle your mouth. So you can tell that a lot of my things are unlocked now because this is the end of the year. But at the beginning of the year, all of these little locks right here were all over the spellings. So like ooh was covered with a lock, was covered with a lock, ow, ow, oi, oi, all of those were covered. And I don't uncover them until we learn that phonics skill in our classroom. So what I do is I'm teaching over here, and I say, okay, everybody give me a big drum roll. We're gonna unlock a new sound. So wherever this yellow arrow is pointing is the sound we're focusing on. So like the last ones we learned were the aw sounds. So I have the yellow arrows here and the locks, and I'd say, okay, turn this way. We look at the picture and we say the word draw. Say, what do you hear at the end of draw? And they say the aw sound. I'm like, great, we're gonna learn 2 new ways how to spell the aw sound. And then I say, give me a big drum roll. And I unlock one of them and make them read it. We say A-U, good, A-U says aw. And then we do a drum roll and unlock the other one. So I do that on Monday anytime I introduce the sound, and then the Val Valley stays up as a way for students to reference when they're writing. For example, today I had a student spelling the word soil when we were writing about plants, and they couldn't remember how to spell oi. So I said, look up at the Val Valley, do you see the sound oi? And they found the coin and were able to pick the spelling. Now they knew to use OI, but if a student used OY in the word soil in 1st grade, that is a-okay because it is a sound spelling, so I'd be okay with that. So that's kind of how I use it. I just use it mostly when we introduce phonics sounds. I don't have any words up there. I just keep the sounds because I just don't have enough room to put a bunch of words up there. But that's kind of like my sound wall in a nutshell. This is my 1st year using it. I've always had a word wall with sight words, and I wish I could do that in here too, because I do think it's still good to have all those high frequency words posted somewhere in my room, but I just don't have enough room to do the Val Valley and the sound wall. And I feel like the Val Valley and the word wall, but I feel like this sound wall in general is more beneficial. So if I had to pick one, I would definitely pick the sound wall. But something to just ponder for next year is like a good place to keep a running display of high frequency words that we've learned. Okay, after that, we went to lunch, recess, all the things. It's starting to get hot outside, so it was really toasty. And then when we came back, our STEM teacher planted seeds with them. It was so fun. She used eggshells. She used eggshells And they all got to plant a seed, and she didn't tell them what kind of seed it was. I actually don't even know what kind of seed it was. It's something you can eat, is what she said. So it's a vegetable or a fruit. And they were so excited because she said, like, what are the things that a plant might need? And the whole class was like, oh, Miss Allen, because that's what we've been writing about in writing. I was like, you came at a perfect time because we're actually writing how-to writings about how to grow a vegetable. And so they were very excited to make that like connection with her, and they knew everything. And they were like, look, here's our chart. We know all the things that a plant needs. So that was really fun. Here's what the writing turned out like. You know, I kind of like explicitly modeled it. No, not kind of, I did. Let me get a sticky note. I did explicitly model the writing. I just did the first sentence and had them do it together, and I did not think it was gonna be as hard as it was. I think some of them were just not super duper focused on their work today, personally, when we did writing. And we only had about 25 minutes for them to work on it, but that should have been enough to do 4 sentences with words that we already had in our pictures labeled. So anyways, like here's an example of how one turned out. This one was pretty good. I dig a hole and put a seed inside. That's the one we wrote together. Then I water my seeds. Next, it starts to grow. Last, I get the vegetable. So that's pretty good. Some of them are not quite that great or quite that detailed. Like next, I water it. Then, let's see. Last, it a vegetable. There you go. That's a good one. I pick vegetables. Next, I wait. Last, it is a flower. So we missed the vegetable train there. We have, oh, actually, that's really good. This is my friend who doesn't know like her letters and sounds. So I was going to be like, whoa, but it's not bad. Then I water it. Next, I bud. Last, it bloom. That's not bad. So it is what it is. Last, it bloom. It is what it is. What we're going to do tomorrow is like turn them into actual books. So stay tuned for that. And so they'll have to go back and reread their writing. And hopefully some of them will be like, oh, I can explain that more. Or, oh, that didn't make sense and I can revise that. So I'm hoping that's what happens. Then in math today, we did our review, and I'm glad I spent an extra day on this lesson. We all sat in a circle with a 120 chart and a clear counter. And we don't usually sit in a circle, but it was kind of nice because I could see what everybody was doing. And I wrote an equation on the board. We started with easy ones where we were just adding ones like 22 and then adding 3 more. And then we transitioned into just adding 10 more, which was a review from the last unit. So I did like 35 plus 10, and we all practiced moving it down 1 and seeing how that was the same as moving forward 10. And then we started to do some more complicated ones. And then after I felt like we had done enough examples together, I went over the directions for the practice page. And then I pulled the 4 that I was like, okay, this just went way over their heads yesterday, to my table, and we did it step by step with the hundreds chart, the practice page, and I let the rest work on their own. And I graded them just a minute ago, and it wasn't that bad. Like it wasn't terrible. They did pretty good. So I was like, okay, I'm glad I spent an extra day on that. Tomorrow we go into adding like using models, so they'll have to like draw pictures and stuff, but I think the 100 chart is a great strategy, and I really wanted them to get it. So I'm very excited about that. Oh, and then like one more thing I wanted to share. You saw me grading papers earlier in that lovely time lapse, and grading papers sometimes can look like a hot mess on my table. But I was thinking to myself, like, I've never even shared how I do like paper turn in my class. So I thought maybe you might want to know that. I do it the same way my internship teacher did it, like when I interned 6 years ago, and I've just always done it this way. I don't like them keeping papers in their desk because it gets so messy. So I let them keep them in their desk the whole day, but we clean our desks out at the end of every day of all papers. So when they work on something, if they're finished, they put it in their desk and it stays in their desk the whole day. That way, if they don't finish too, and there's a time where I'm like, you may get on your computer if you have finished your work, it's still there for them to work on, like throughout the day. So I like that aspect. And then at the end of the day, I say, okay, I ring the bell, we finish computer lab time, and I tell them to stack all of their papers. Most days, I take all of them. I'm like, all right, bring me your stack nice and neat. And they give me all their stack, and I stagger stack. So one student, next student, next student, next student. So it doesn't get all mixed up. And that helps with names too, because if they forget to put their name on like one paper, it's like stacked with the rest of them. So I can figure out who it belongs to. And then some days I don't have them bring all of them. Like some days I'm like, I don't want to take all this for a grade. So I just ask them for one specific paper and I'll hold it up like this isn't a worksheet. But I'd say like, okay, this is the paper I need. Please take this paper out of your stack. And when I call your name, bring me this paper. And that's what we do. Then when I grade, I kind of make separate stacks of like this I'm taking for a grade. This I'm just gonna like check over and put in their box. Or if there's papers like, for example, the writing papers that we did today, we're gonna reference these again tomorrow in our writing lesson. So I take them, stack them all up, and I put them in my drawer for tomorrow. So they're like sitting with my writing materials for tomorrow because I just don't like them keeping things in their desk. Things get thrown away, things get messy. So now like at the end of their day, every time we leave to go home, their desks are clear of papers. It's just their pencil box, their sticker charts, and library books. Those are the only things that live inside the desk. So I just thought, hey, I may want to share that because that's just what I do. I know there are some people who do like turn-in bins throughout the day, like turn in your paper now. And if you're like departmentalized, that looks totally different because you have different classes. I just don't do it till the very end and I collect them every day. So yeah, I took a couple of those for a grade. Feels good to have some grades in the grade book. So that's exciting. But I'm gonna go ahead and end the vlog here. I got lots of great feedback from you guys that you don't mind having 2 vlogs during the week. So if it starts getting long, I'm just gonna cut it. You get a midweek and then you get an end of the week. It'll be great. But I am enjoying showing you a little bit more of the teachy stuff. So that's been nice to kind of show you a little bit more of my teaching style so you can see what I do at small group. It just takes a little bit more time. So this will be like the first part. Stay tuned for part 2. You can keep following along with our how-to books and how we're making those and how our math is progressing. And I'll share more about what I'm doing with the ghost letters tomorrow and for the rest of the week for actually like applying the phonics skill that we've learned. So make sure you tune in for part 2. Please give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it and subscribe to my channel. Thank you guys so much for watching and I will see you in part 2.